Welcome to a new episode of TVGP's Critical Misses. I'm your under the weather host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpair.
That was a joke. I'm fine.
Um, we're here to talk about 2005's War of the Worlds. So we're skipping.
It does not feel like this thing came out like in 2005, bro.
No, it feels a lot more recent than that.
2015, I would have gone with.
I probably would have gone. Yeah, I think that would have been like that's just a handful of years ago. No big deal. I guess I feel like this was like the big summer blockbuster when it came out. I don't know if it came out in summer, but it feels like one of those.
Well, I mean, let's talk about what we know. Who's in this movie, bro?
Well, it's Tom Cruise for sure. I feel like that was the big thing, and I feel like
Uh-huh.
it's a Spielberg movie too. I think
I do believe it is, yes.
so.
I'm pretty sure this is a Steven Spielberg movie.
This had to have come out in the summer. Then, like, there's no other way you get the chocolate and the peanut butter together, and you don't put that out in theaters in the summer.
I mean, that's true.
Um, Other than that, I don't think I know anybody else in this movie. I get the impression there aren't a lot of people in this movie overall.
No, there isn't a whole lot of people in this movie. I mean,
Okay.
do you know who the female in the poster above is?
No, there's some like younger girl. I'm assuming because it's a Tom Cruise movie, he's protecting her the whole time.
I mean, who would have thought Tom
Yeah.
Cruise and a young female? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you'll know who that is.
I bet as soon as I
You
see
the
her,
credits,
it's probably
you'll be
like,
like, oh,
right, she's still in a million things. Um,
mhm.
Other than that, I don't think I know. I mean, I have some expectations in from this movie, especially
Mhm.
of like, there has to be a tripod, at least one. I'm assuming because like
Mhm.
that's the thing in these works at this point. Um, and then there has to be, oh my god, a human thing took out the Martians. Uh,
Okay.
like the flu or our sunlight or something like that. Which we saw
Okay.
a little bit in the
Okay.
last one of like, oh, they ate us and we're poisoned for whatever reason. But the only thing that I'm curious about in this is, are we going to see any of the Martians get out of the ships in this one?
Oh, like we did in the previous in
Yeah,
the miniseries. Okay.
something I
Okay.
wasn't expecting from that one.
Honestly, I wasn't expecting it either, and I can't remember if it's in this because this is one that I have seen
Oh,
before.
okay.
Um, I will say I thought that there was a young Timothy Chalamet in this movie.
Okay.
There is not.
Ah, bummer.
It goes the absolute opposite direction from, oh, there's a future star in the making to, oh, it's you kind of situation.
Oh, and like we don't see
Um,
you in movies anymore.
yes, and I'd
Interesting.
like to know if you recognize the specific actor in question,
Okay,
as
I'm in.
to
Keep an eye out for that one.
exactly why. I will ask this: what does Tom Cruise do?
He runs a lot. He loves
I
running.
mean,
He's
we know that
it's like a
we
greyhound.
did
Can't stop it.
we did the Mission Impossible season. We know he
That's
runs.
right.
I mean, what is his profession? Because so far we've had a Homeland Security hacker,
Oh, I see.
and we've had a ne'er-do-well journalist.
Right. Oh boy, what is he gonna
What
do?
does Tom Cruise do? What is his profession, in the words of the King Leonidas from Sparta?
My favorite acronym. What does Tom Cruise do? Um, I don't know. Like it's too early for him to be like a work-at-home dad, because I feel like that would be a
Mhm.
a thing. Oh man, I want to say he's like not rough and tumble enough to be like an oil rig worker or anything. Um,
Yeah, but Ben Affleck wasn't either, and he was in Armageddon.
That's true. He was also an astronaut. Um, Gosh, what would he? I don't see him holding like a retail job or anything. I would love to see Tom Cruise like
He's
holding
not
it.
like Shaun from Shaun of the Dead,
Yeah,
where he like
exactly.
works at like the UK equivalent of Best Buy.
Yeah, I'd love to see if he had like a regular office job. Not even like they'd probably put him in middle management, but like nothing super wild. I'd love to see him just being like, "Here's your TPS reports, boss. See you later. 5 o'clock somewhere, huh?" That sort of thing.
Okay, okay, interesting.
Is his career notable in this movie?
I mean, I know, but I don't know. I'm just
Okay.
curious because, like, look at everything we've seen Tom Cruise be in,
Mm-hmm.
specifically for this show, because there's some stuff I haven't seen. So he's a super secret agent.
Yep.
He's a super secret agent. He's still a super secret agent. Is that all the Tom Cruise we've covered for this show? Is like Mission Impossible?
Um,
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. No, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
no, the other one. Night and Day.
Yes, yes, where he's a super secret agent.
Okay, so if he's not a super secret agent in this one, I'll be a little bit bummed, I guess.
I mean, I can't think of many Tom Cruise movies where he's not a super secret agent, but that's also because most of the things I associate with him is the Mission Impossible movies now.
I mean, in oh my god, it's that parody comedy movie that he's in. He's a different type of agent, but he's under like
Yeah, he's the movie executive agent, right?
yeah, he's under like super heavy makeup in that one. Oh, I don't remember what that movie is called. Uh oh, we watched Top Gun Maverick as well, where he's basically a flying agent.
He's a super secret agent.
Yeah, he just
Yeah,
flies in that one.
he he's a super secret agent with flight powers.
Yep. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that he's been in that we've seen on the show, and I don't. Oh, Edge of Tomorrow, where he basically turns into a super secret agent.
But he starts off as a journalist in that one, which is credit
True.
there. He's the propaganda department for the U.S. Army, and then he turns into a super secret agent.
True. 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 What else has he been in? The Mummy. We didn't watch that.
No, he's in Days of Thunder, where he's a driving super secret
Right.
agent.
Tropic Thunder
Um,
was the one where I was thinking of.
that's the one that, yeah, I haven't seen that one. That one is
Oh my
is
god, that's
going to be
right.
an interesting one when we get to it.
I forgot that he's Austin Powers in Goldmember in the
Oh,
intro.
yep, in the movie
Intro of that
version.
movie.
Yep.
That's a
Well, guess
really
what?
great scene
He's
too.
a super secret agent.
Oh, it's so good. Okay, he's also in Legend, one of my favorite 80s movies. He's definitely not
Hey,
a super secret
hey,
agent.
I haven't seen that one, bro.
Okay, well that one's real good.
I think that goes on the Tim Curry season, though. To be
Oh,
completely
for
honest.
sure. Absolutely. Man. All right. Anything else you can think of before we're going in this? I feel like my expectation is
Yo,
kind of like it's a big action movie. Stuff's gonna explode. He's running a lot with whoever this child is.
that would be my assumption. Also, Tom Cruise did play Jack Reacher, who is also a super secret agent,
Jack
by the way.
Reacher. Right.
Just for the
I always
record.
think of when I think of Reacher now, I think of the TV show, the like Amazon one. I think with John Krasinski, the guy from The Office. I think that's
Yes.
Reacher.
Also, he was in Collateral, where he was a super secret hitman.
Oh my god, that movie's so good. I want to watch that again.
Mhm.
I loved that movie. That's so good.
Did we do Minority Report for this show? I don't think we did.
No, but that feels like a movie
Oh,
we
he's
should
a
do.
super secret cop in that
That's
too.
right. That's right.
Just saying.
He lives a very successful
Hey,
super secret
hey.
life.
In Jerry Maguire, he's also a super secret agent, but a different kind of
That's
agent. He
that's
plays
true.
another form of agent.
That's true. Oh my god. All right. Any final thoughts here before we head into the movie?
I'm looking forward to your take on this one. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it because, like, I know I've seen this movie. For the record, last time I saw it was probably 2005.
Right. And I've never
So
seen it.
how much how much I remember about this movie is going to be a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought there was a young Timothy Chalamet in here. It's not. I literally looked because I was like, if it is Timothy Chalamet, I'm not going to tell Boston, and I'm just going to wait and see what his reaction is.
I'd be like, oh, it's Tim
but-
Sham. Yes, let's go.
Yep. At his age, when he was modding Xbox controllers and posting on YouTube.
That's right. That's right.
Instead, it's not him. It's someone so different.
So good. All right, on that note, let's go watch the film.
Yep.
All right, Moon, we're back.
Yes, we are. We have survived the latest war of the worlds.
That's right. I also, you know what? You asked me in the first part here what Tom Cruise's job would be. Stevedore was definitely not even on the list of things that was possible. So also,
sure ain't no super secret agent this time.
Can I mention though? I feel like I have been so like action movie poisoned by this point that I feel like my expectation was, oh, at some point his dock working experience is going to come to bear in fighting aliens. Nope. Not at all. He just ran and yelled a lot.
He's not even the hero of the movie.
No. The microbes are.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is something, from what I understand, this is something that's arguably the thing that made the book last so long, is that this movie is told entirely from the protagonist's view, except the protagonist is just a dude.
Yeah.
And let's just get this out the way right at the top. Not a good dude.
No, and like, I have a lot of feelings about this movie, and one of the strongest feelings is I don't buy Tom Cruise in this role of this, like, you'll call me dad or you could call me sir. And I'm like, that's not this dude. Come on, this isn't even Tom Cruise acting as this dude. Like, this is unbelievable. Tom Cruise is supposed to be like winking at the camera and being like, these kids, huh? Wink. You know, it's sort of like
Yeah, but arguably he also suffers quite a severe amount of PTSD in this movie.
Sure. It's just like there's something about it that it's sort of made a little bit worse too by the fact that both of these kids turbo suck.
Yeah, so let's get this out the way as well about the kids. I think the performance of the kids is incredible. The kids' performance is great.
Yeah, they're both great actors.
Yes. I think the characterization of their relationship to their father, quite rightly, is a bad one.
Yeah.
And that causes nothing but problems throughout the course of this movie.
And I feel like their relationship with their dad is super believable. Like it really starts with them being like, okay, sure, my dad, whatever. I don't even see this idiot, whatever. But like, it extends through most of the movie of like, why the hell should I listen to you? You don't even you can't even be a parent. Like, why should I care about what you're telling me to do? Like, have you fought the aliens before? Like, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, and I think the funny thing is I think this is maybe not so much the daughter, but the son is old enough to the point where when he shows weakness and shows his vulnerability and the fact that he doesn't know what's going on, like, I think that the son understands that so much more and is actually starts to relate to him a little bit at that point.
Right.
But
it's
Dakota Fanning, her performance in this is incredible.
I feel like her performance, I agree, is really solid. I think the unfortunate part is I'm going to remember her performance as she's screaming the entire time. She's screaming the entire time, and the son is just, I'm going to join the army, pew, 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 pew. It's like, bro, get back, stop, get back here. There is a little bit of depth to their characters, but I feel like, especially with Dakota Fanning's character, it kind of comes a little bit too late in the movie, I think. Um, and a lot of
Like
it is,
most of the depth around her character revolves around her brother.
yeah,
Like the moment where her brother's trying to leave for the first time, and she's like, "Look, if you leave, who's gonna take care of me?"
yeah.
Kind of situation. And it's like, bro,
And
that's like
Tom
so
Cruise is like, what the hell,
heartbreaking.
man?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. So
yeah.
did you recognize the brother, the son of the two
No,
children, by
I
the way?
didn't. Justin Chatwin.
Justin, yes,
Yeah.
famous for his role in Dragon Ball Evolution as Goku.
I did look that up, and as soon as I saw that he was in that, I was like, oh my god, yeah, it's him. Okay. Yep,
Uh-huh.
sliding across that taxi on his head. Yep, that's him. I'm sorry, buddy. You made a poor choice on that one.
Which is really funny because he has Dragon Ball characters
Yeah,
in his room at his dad's house,
yeah,
and also he pulls a total Goku move when the dad tries to like basically hit him with the pitch, and he just moves out the way, and
yep.
the dad smashes his own window.
I love Tom Cruise's face on that, and he's just like, "Yep, I messed that one up." Okay, one of
Uh-huh.
my favorite lines in the movie is like right before that scene where Tom Cruise, what's his character's name? Ray, I think it is. Um,
Yeah, it's Ray.
where Tom Cruise is saying, like, well, if, whatever, I don't know, my brother's gonna know. And Dakota Fanning says, well, what's the capital of Australia? And he pauses for a second and goes, that's one my brother knows. It's just like,
Uh-huh.
all right, that's
And then
that's pretty good.
the son is like, I would laugh if it wasn't the 500th time you've told that joke.
Uh-huh. Um, I think this movie's, I'm gonna be honest with you, this movie's really rough. I
Uh-huh.
I think the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Um, I think, like you said, there's
Okay,
some. Go ahead.
let's do some lows first. Let's try and end this movie on a high
I
after the
th-
nightmare that
I
was the
think
previous War of the Worlds movie.
I think too much of this movie is humans are terrible to other humans and
Uh-huh.
putting children in peril. And I think it's not a movie that's putting children in peril for shock value. It's a lot of like, yeah, it just everything sucks for everybody here. Did you see those giant tripods? Come on.
Everyone is in peril.
Yeah, so
Yes.
like it's not doing it for shock value, but I think especially Dakota Fanning's character is in peril a little bit more than I sort of felt comfortable with. Um, and I think the amount of just people screaming, the three of them yelling at each other, like that stuff really spikes my anxiety a lot. Um, and this movie is kind of lousy with it. There is to kind of bridge the gap between bad and good. There is a really great scene with Tom Cruise and um, his son, like in the middle of it's a scene where obviously they got the audio wrong in a really interesting way, where the audio is kind of crummy, but where they're standing in the rain yelling at each other as like the soldiers are going past. That's a really
Uh-huh.
great scene of just the two of them being 100% over each other. Um, and
Yeah.
also like I would love to hear the making of the movie because it's like, boy, that seems like a scene you didn't want to get another take of because the performance was so good, even if the audio wasn't captured correctly
Yeah.
or whatever. Um,
So I
and
will say, like,
yeah,
part of the, I mean, this movie is 2005, was it?
yeah,
Um, Again, still feels like it was 2015, but
hmm,
okay. Because I'm sure you don't know this. I'm
hmm,
just gonna put this out in the air. This movie was done on a pretty big budget, but really short time frame. It was like
yeah,
7 months from start to finish.
yep,
Um, and because of the short time frame on the back end of the movie, Spielberg basically had to stay in editing and doing the visual effects to try and make sure everything happened correctly.
sure,
So he had to postpone a promotional appearance for this movie.
Okay.
The promotional appearance in question was Tom Cruise's appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show in 2005.
Aha. I'm assuming that's the infamous one.
That's the infamous one.
Okay. Interesting.
And after this movie, Spielberg swore he would never work with Tom Cruise again
Sure.
due to
The
that whole
that
thing
appearance.
and Scientology and everything else
Mhm.
that followed on from that kind of
That's
level.
wild. Um, I I think there is a lot to like about this movie. Um, I think
What did you think of the tripods?
I think they look really good. There's something about the like
Mhm.
face part that looks really good, and I think so. The last miniseries we saw, I kind of liked going back and looking at what those looked like. They kind of look like spiders. Like the legs are segmented and kind of bent in a way that spider legs
Mhm.
look. These ones are really interesting because I think
They're like tubes. They're like the old school Martian quote unquote
yeah,
tube idea.
but I think the movie does a really excuse me, good job at um showing them even though they're really big, they're still managing to catch people off guard. They aren't like 10
Mhm.
things that are, marching away from 50 miles away. They are coming out of the water, they're coming out of the ground, they're silently coming through the trees. Like there's something like they're hunting in this version more than the 2019 one. To be fair, 2019 we didn't see them very much at all. 2025 I don't even want to talk about. Um but there's something about it of like there are more of them than the other ones, and they're quieter, and they seem kind of more like they're hunting in a pack, which I thought was kind of an interesting different take from them.
Yeah, and like the thing I think this movie does the best out of everything we've seen so far is that sense of scale is
Yeah,
unreal on in this movie.
like when they're in that
Like the first appearance is great.
yeah,
Like after the river crossing, like the river crossing is its own sequence by itself.
yep,
But after the river crossing, when they're lying looking at the town they just escaped from, and you can see three of them, I think it is.
mm-hmm,
But then the camera pans to the right, and you see them coming over a hilltop,
yeah,
and just black dots swarming towards the
yeah,
water.
oh,
And it's like, oh, those black dots are humans.
that's right.
These things are big.
Well, and I love that shot too when they're on the ferry and the one is coming out of the water right next to them, and the one lens in the front is way bigger than Tom Cruise. Like it's monstrously huge, and it's they're just kind of silently coming out of the water. Like I think that stuff is there's also something, not to spoil something from a number of episodes ahead, but one of the things, the details in the book that I really enjoy that I haven't seen up until this point, was one of the details in the book was that the tripods have a number of tentacles and wires and stuff hanging off of them. They aren't just these kind of sleek
Mhm.
things. I liked that this movie had that in it that we haven't seen in the other two, of like
Yes.
they had the
And
grabby
different
tentacles.
functionality too.
Yes. Like I think that's kind of interesting because I love the visual of they aren't just these sleek things, like they are machines, they are robots, and then this movie taking that to the next level of, well, yeah, if they're going to have these tentacles and wires and stuff, they're going to be grabbing people, sucking the blood out of them or whatever, like giving
Mhm.
them a little slurp, and like having this functionality to them that I thought was actually pretty cool. Um, and then you get the kind of opposite effect of that in the, I'm sure, fairly famous terrorizing basement scene where the one
Yeah.
tentacle is silently following them through
Yeah, the
the
eyeball
basement.
thing.
Yeah. I To me that's a standout scene of this movie.
Yes, that sequence is solid.
I think it's a smidge too long, cuz kind of compared, like combining that with aliens, the Martians being out of the ship. I think that whole thing kind of
Uh-huh.
put together is a little bit too long. But I think the tension there, I can only imagine watching it at the theater and it's just silent the whole time. Like that had to have been an incredible scene. And I think it's still, we haven't even talked about it. The CG in this movie looks outstanding. Like this is definitely the
Uh-huh.
kind of, sadly, like
I
the
mean,
golden era of CG in
yeah,
this
because
this
it's
time
also a
frame.
lot of practical effects. Like
Yeah,
there's so much practicality in here. Like they literally flip a ferry over practically.
yeah,
The plane that's crashed on top of the house is an actual decommissioned 747.
yeah,
There is so much practicality that any CG usage is really focused into what it needs to be,
yeah,
and I think it's incredible. Like just the little touch of like the galaxy looking eyes of the Martians in
yeah.
that basement sequence is so cool.
Well, let's talk about that crashed plane in the living room. Like that's such an incredibly shot scene of them walking out the door and then you seeing something spinning right next to them, and as the camera
Well, it's
pulls
just Ray at first.
right,
Like the
excuse
and
me,
like the reveal is phenomenal because it's like, oh hey, that's an engine,
yeah,
by
and
the
then
way.
like seeing them continually pulling the camera back and seeing, oh well, there's a plane in this city, in this neighborhood.
In his little tiny suburban
Yeah, and
cul-de-sac
then
kind
like
of thing.
that door and that wall is basically all that's left of that house. And then the more
Uh-huh.
you kind of continue to pull back, the less and less there is in that neighborhood. And it's outstanding. That's such a
I
great
mean,
shot.
great dad instincts to sleep in the basement.
Yeah,
Like I'm sure it was just fear, but great instincts to not sleep in your regular bed today
yep,
kind of situation.
yep. Um, were you talking about Tim Robbins as the actor that we haven't seen in a while, who is featured in this movie, plays Ogilvy?
No, I was talking about Justin. I was talking about
Oh, okay.
Goku himself.
Yeah. Well, I was also thinking about Tim Robbins. He plays Ogilvy in this.
Uh-huh.
Probably the weirdest version of Ogilvy we've seen so far.
So I did some reading, and apparently he's basically an amalgamation of three characters in one from the books.
Ah, okay.
Um, so he is Ogilvy, the gunnery sergeant, who
Mm,
is the soldier we saw in the miniseries who, like, kind of gets what's his face to join because of the war kind of situation.
yep.
Um, and somebody else, but he's a
Okay.
mixture of all three in this.
Yeah, he. I think he plays that role really well. Of like, at the beginning, you're sort of on his side of like, okay, yeah, this guy's pretty prepared. Like, we could probably, stuff is real bad up top, but you know, we might be able to last down here for quite a while until he starts going off the rails and be like, we're taking the fight to them. And it's like, maybe you haven't seen how large they are, because I don't think your shotgun and your axe is really going to be doing a whole lot here, man. Um, and then it kind of ends with that very odd scene of Tom Cruise being like, "Well, gotta kill him." And it's like, I
Uh-huh.
mean, yeah, but it is sort of a strange sequence there. Um, I don't know. That it's Tim Robbins does a great job in everything, and seeing him is like, yeah, man, I haven't seen him in a while. I wish he was in more stuff because he kills it. Um,
Yep. And he was in Top Gun with Tom Cruise as well, funnily enough.
yes, true, true, true. Um, gosh, what else?
What
Uh,
do you think of the horn, the tripod horn?
I thought that sounded appropriately terrifying. Like everything
Hmm.
about the tripods in this is fairly terrifying. Like the noise they're making, the size of them, the like cages where they're slurping people up, like the whole thing is just really really intense in a way that um I think really sells the scale. I also I also think this is a really interesting version of their like death ray thing. We saw it
The
in the
alarm beings that dust people.
yeah, like the 2019 one set people on fire, and it was like kind of a chain reaction fire sort of thing. I like this one. It was just like it just poofs people away, like they just disintegrate. And I'm sure they did that for ratings reasons, but
Oh, 100%. Like
yeah,
to avoid like an R-rated movie. Yeah.
yeah,
Like I will say we only got one scene of him running essentially.
true, true.
Really, and that was at the beginning after the lightning strikes, which I think that setup is cool as hell. The
Yeah,
scene,
the wind that's
how it's
going
like he,
towards the storm.
uh-huh.
Hmm.
And like I love the fact that like they're under the table and then Ray is like, hold on, where's the thunder?
Right. I also like
It's like,
him
yeah,
singing
bro.
"Oh say can you see," and then lightning hits real close, and he's like, "Oh God!" And he trips over that chair. Like
Yes.
that's a
Uh-huh.
real good moment there. Um,
I will
the
say there's a couple of really great moments in this, like writing wise.
yeah.
After the lightning strike situation and they steal the Jeep or the van or
Oh, the
whatever it is,
minivan. Yeah.
um, and they're driving away. There's this great bit where the Rachel, the daughter, is like, "Is it the terrorists? The
Uh
terrorists?"
huh.
Just being blank, and then starts having a panic attack, and then her brother like takes her through like her normal steps to solve it.
Hmm.
And then he turns around and goes, "So is it the terrorists?" And he's like,
Yeah.
"No, this came from somewhere else." And
Yep.
the son responds with, "Somewhere like Europe?" And he's like, "No, not Europe."
That line was really great. That was really. I mean, that's the thing
I
about.
I also
Go
I
ahead.
do find it funny, like in 2026, that the first thing you hear about this on the news is from Ukraine, which is
Right.
just like how weirdly prescient that
Right.
was for the future of world politics.
Yeah, I do agree. I think this is a well written uh movie, kind of
Oh,
from
I'm allergic to peanut butter. Since when? Since birth is another
since
great line.
since birth was a really her like real deadpan delivery of that is really good. Like there is some really good writing stuff in here. I think the writing sort of falls apart at the end, and I feel
Yes.
like if I'm going to guess, that's probably going to be a through line through the rest of the season. Um, like basically, as soon as the tripods start getting sick, and Tom Cruise somehow is the only one that notices the birds are on top of the tripod, which is like ridiculous that Tom Cruise, the savior, has to save the military again. Um,
I mean, it's whether he's the only one who notices, or whether he's the only one who is stupid enough to be looking at it, whereas everybody else is like, "Yo, bro, we need to go," kind of situation.
yeah, like get
Um,
underground away from these things. Yeah.
Shout out as well to Catherine Hahn for her like 2 minute cameo appearance in this movie.
Yes. Mm-hmm. A big fan of Catherine Hahn in general. Um, I thought that a lot of the I forgot to talk about this. I actually really liked the red, veiny Martian growth stuff. I thought that
Yes,
stuff looked
the red
really
vine.
good. Um,
Uh-huh.
and like
Because it looks like capillaries.
yeah, it does, and like the red bloody rain looks really good. Like I think that it's not in the movie for a whole lot, and I think there's that interesting payoff where they land in Boston and the statue has the capillaries that are dead and kind of crumbling. I think that stuff looks pretty good. Um, I'm still not sure how I feel about the aliens themselves. They're I think they're really close to looking cool, like in the basement.
Oh, that's the Benjamin Franklin statue, by the way.
It
I just googled
is.
what
You're
statue it
right.
was.
It is. Good point. I think they look okay in the basement, but they're like just one step away from looking really cool or really scary. Um,
Hmm.
and then the one that's in the tripod that opens up at the end, I think appropriately looks really kind of sick and weak, but it's an interesting moment of like, oh, these are the things we were afraid of. Like they're no bigger than we are, which I know
Uh-huh.
is like the point of War of the Worlds, but I thought as kind of almost not great as they looked in the basement scene. I think them looking appropriately kind of thin and weak in that scene was sort of like, okay, I think they nailed that one when people finally got to see them. Um,
Yeah.
I think the ending of this is probably the best that you can do with this. We didn't even talk about Morgan Freeman doing the intro and outro
The
reading.
narration.
Yeah, this one again has the first paragraph of the book, just like the 2019 one. Has the whole Morgan Freeman reads out that whole first paragraph of the book, which probably will be something that is a through line for all of these as well. Um, but I think that stuff does pretty well. I get the impression that people really didn't like the ending, but
You are correct. There was a major complaint the fact that the Coda on this movie is a happy ending, and it's like that's also, from what I understand, how the book ends.
yeah, well, it's like I think what we're seeing, and I'm sure we'll get to it later in the season, is sort of like the the unbeatable nature of humanity is what the victor is at the end. Like we kind of saw this with 2019, 2025 addressed it in a different way. But like that sort of thing of like, oh my god, they're dying. Why are they dying? Have we beaten them? You know, we suffered. Humanity has suffered huge losses, but the smallest of us has
Well,
defeated the Martians.
that's part of that. Like the voiceover Coda at the end is like, we we have earned the resistance through of the viruses, whatever they are,
Hmm.
through a death toll, and I think it's like billions long, is what he says, and
I
what the
think so.
narrator says.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, like when you're talking about death toll, like yes, diseases have killed billions and billions and billions of humans,
Right.
and that is the price we paid to now have that stronger immune system against them, kind of
Right.
thing.
Which the Martians didn't have, which is why they lost in the end. Which I still think
Uh-huh.
is interesting, but it's kind of like I understand. I understand that there's a desire, especially for a big summer Spielberg blockbuster like this, of you want the end of Independence Day. You know, like that's what people were probably looking forward to and expecting. And the end of this movie is we have green growth again, and microbes took out the Martians, which is kind of not the bombastic ending that I think people were expecting. Which has to be hard. You know what I'm assuming is, like we've been finding out, part of the source material here. Um,
Uh-huh.
so that is, I do have to say, for better or for worse, this is a Spielberg movie at the end of the day. There are a lot of really
Yeah.
cool explosions. We talked about some really great practical effects. There's some great shots of scale, like we've talked about. Like, that dude knows how to direct and hire cinematographers and DPs that know how to shoot a movie like this. And visually, and like from a directing standpoint and a photography standpoint, I really couldn't find any fault with any of this stuff. Like, it's a cool movie. Like we talked about, the CG still really holds up. Is like you said, they're using it. They're using it in the most efficient and smartest way for them to do so. And shooting a lot of it on sound stages, from what I could see. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's not a lot of, thankfully volume wasn't around during then of like, look at those aliens in the background. It's just a giant screen behind them.
Yeah.
So it's a cool big blockbuster that doesn't end like a blockbuster does, which is, I think, kind
I
of
mean, it has
neat.
a happy ending. Isn't that how most blockbusters end?
Yeah, like the hero is supposed, like, the hero in this movie, Ray is ostensibly the hero, although the microbes are like the real hero. Gets reunited with his family in Boston, and everyone's still alive and happy and healthy. Yay! Like humanity won against the Martian invaders. It's just that
Mhm.
nobody like sent a
And this is the
nuke
thing
up
I
a
love that
ship.
the miniseries addresses, where it's like, yeah, the Great Victory is all just a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I I I thought the thing that the miniseries did better than this one was the influence of the Martians, like beginning attempts of terraforming Earth into that kind of dusty Martian sort of landscape. I feel like we didn't really get the same
Yes.
feeling in this one, other than like, hey, billions of people died. So I don't know. It's got this has to be a really tough thing to film and shoot and adapt. Like it's that's not a thing that I would wish on anybody, really. Um,
I mean, yes and no. They said Dune was unfilmable, but I think the movies did a phenomenal job with Dune, and that's considerably harder than this thing is.
I think
Like,
that's a good point. Yeah, Dune is both of those first two Dune movies are fantastic.
like the biggest thing for me is I don't think that, and this is going to be probably a bad thing to say.
Okay.
I don't think that the huge scale movies are Spielberg's best work.
Mm,
I think Spielberg is at his best when it's very tight and compact kind of storytelling.
sure.
Um, like I think Minority Report is good but not great.
Mm.
Whereas you look at his smaller things like Jaws, and I think he also did Schindler's List.
Oh, I mean, Schindler's List is an
Um,
all-time classic for sure.
like, and these are not like big global events kind of thing. They're very small, tight, compact stories.
Right.
I think that's what he's best at.
Yeah, I think he's really good at making a blockbuster. Like I don't think anyone would. I think if anyone is
He
watching,
arguably invented it
yeah, and
with Jaws.
I think if someone's coming into this movie and saying it's a bad movie, I think they're lying about it. I think you can say I didn't like it, but saying that it's a bad movie, I think is is incorrect. Um,
Mhm.
Whether or not it's a great movie, I think that's to be determined. All right, before we get to the rankings here, what are your final thoughts here on 2005's War of the Worlds?
I thought it was better than I remembered it being, but also worse than I remembered it being at the same
Mm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we talked about at the start, like the characters of the kids are absolutely nightmarish,
Yeah.
but they are also well written characters for the relationship that they have with Ray.
Yeah.
It's not their fault that all this happened while during the weekend that they were with, like, bad dad kind of thing.
That's right.
Um,
Happened during Bad Dad weekend.
like it's not their fault.
Right.
Like, what are we gonna eat? I don't know. Order something. It's
Yep. Just genuinely doesn't care.
yep.
Yeah.
And it's like I think it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably prefer the miniseries so far as my representation.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you. Like this, I think this movie is good. I feel like it's largely a good big summer blockbuster movie. I think people discount it a little bit because of the ending, but like again, that seems to be what the book was. So you're trying to. It has to be hard to try and adapt what you can and kind of keep what you want to keep. Something that we talked during the Dune season that I will remember the Dune movies fondly for kind of stripping a lot of the cruft off of Dune and kind of keeping the solid through line
Yes.
throughout those two movies and adapting. That's a really solid adaptation of an older work. War of
With
the
so much more behind it as well than this thing does.
Yeah.
Like like the amount of work that goes into trying to build the world of Dune in the books, I think it's phenomenal. It's
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite books for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think those movies do such a good job
Mm-hmm.
of like, yeah, you don't have to worry about all of this stuff and all of that stuff and all of this stuff and that stuff. You don't need to know what the
Yeah,
Butler Jihad
you
was.
can just
Like,
toss that all out.
you
Yeah.
just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Like, it's such a good adaptation, and this is just like, yeah, you could be.
yeah, and like that has to be one of the hardest parts of. I'm sure that's why the book is from 1898, so I'm sure that's part of the reason why the miniseries was shot during the Edwardian period of like, okay, we'll try and have this story align closer to when the the book's time frame was. Something that I think maybe this version and the 2025 version sort of struggled with adapting. But at the end of the day, I think it was still really good. Solid performances from a small cast. I really like I'll say it again, I really like the tripods. How they look, how they're kind of like hunting and stalking, even though they're gigantic. And then showing like the massively huge destruction power behind them. I think is really great. All right, let's do ratings here real quick. IMDb 6.6 out of 10 with 500,000 ratings. Rotten Tomatoes 76% on the tomato meter with 264 reviews. 42% on the popcorn meter, which is the audience score. And Letterboxd 3.3 out of 5. I feel like
I mean, this is a 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I feel like I'm probably more of like a 7 out of 10 sort of thing, but I'm in that like 6 to 7 range of like I had a good time watching it. It was solid, again, the highs were high and the lows were low. But I think overall it was like, yeah, that was a fun Spielberg blockbuster. I'll take it. I feel like you could do a lot worse, which again, we've already watched with 2025's War of the Worlds. Don't watch it. Go listen to that episode, but don't watch it. I beg of you.
Yes.
But so far, I think I'm with you. I think I prefer the 2019 miniseries, even though they're at the kind of opposite ends of the spectrum of, this is the big summer blockbuster. The 2019 was like a character study, almost like light horror film sort of thing, a much quieter affair. So it's interesting to see those two different approaches to the same work here. We do have a couple of additional episodes left to go in the season. If you're looking for a very different approach to the original book here, please stay tuned for our next episode. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.